Our final speaker today is Mr. Vivek Asrani, and as his son, I feel honored to introduce him today. He did his schooling at Campion School, where he was a keen debater and chess player. He had the privilege of being taught under Ms. Who is now our IGCSE coordinator. He is currently the managing director of KAYMO FASTENER company, a family business he has been involved with for the past 33 years. He is passionate about engaging with the business industry and promulgates building ethical businesses. He was the founder, president of AYBI, Association of Youth for a Better India, and an executive committee member of ISEC. He currently serves as a trustee for 3 NGOs, Initiatives of Change, TOYBANK and PRAJA. May we please invite you to talk to us about your experiences, ideas and ideals. Principal Mrs. Pinto, members of the staff, Ms. Wilma Athaide, who was my teacher when I was in the 8th standard in Campion, and it's really a privilege, to have her in the audience when I'm speaking, and dear students. It's always a great honor and opportunity, and thank you so much for this opportunity. Because what a fantastic generation you are. I remember when I was your age, and I would ask my mother for an apple, she would go to the kitchen and get me one. Now when Abir asks me for an apple, I don't know whether he's talking about the phone, the iPad or the computer. And if that's not bad enough, after bringing up this child for 16 years, I have to send him a friend request. Because he still hasn't accepted by me. I'm just going to share some thoughts with you, some of the ideas that have shaped my life, some of the ideals that many times guide me and help me deal with situations in my personal and professional life. So as you step out in the world, there are 2 ways you can look at your future. You can ask the question, what is in it for me? What am I getting out of life? Or you can ask the question, what can I give? And for me, this whole idea of giving has been an extremely powerful influence in my life. And life takes on a new meaning and you enjoy it much more when you find it in yourself to include those who are not as fortunate as you in your growth and success. You must find it in your heart to reach out to those who are not as privileged as you are and make a difference in their life, no matter how small it is. Work hard. I think Irfan spoke a lot about that there are no shortcuts. You have to work hard, and share generously what you are blessed with. So fortify yourself with this whole concept of giving. And then the question really comes to your mind, so what do I give? Give your all to life. Let me share with you a true story. There was this young boy in America who went home crying. And his mother asked him, she said, what happened? And he said, the boys won't allow me to play. They say that I'm too small to play with them. And she said something to him that changed his life forever. She said, it is not the size of the player in the game that matters. It's the size of the game in the player. Michael Jordan went on to become one of the best basketball players this world has seen. Be passionate, and I think Irfan said it beautifully when he said that if it's in your heart, then find the passion to do it. Be passionate about whatever you do. And at the same time, when with that passion, you really dedicate yourself to whatever your endeavor is, whether you're a chef, whether you're a teacher, whether you're out there doing some social work, an engineer, doctor, whatever it is, you will reach unimaginable heights if you have that ideal and that burning passion in you. But it has to come with dedication. And I'm reminded of what my principal, Father DeMero, used to constantly tell us, that devotion to duty will determine your destiny. And it's the devotion married to passion that is going to make you successful. And when we talk about giving, learn to include those who are not as fortunate as you in all your successes. Because you never know what it means to that somebody that you even thought of them. You know, somebody once asked, how much should you give? And Mother Teresa said, she said, give till it hurts. Hurts you, not the other person. Stretch yourself. Now you might look back and say that, you know, as students, what can I give? Giving is not just about money. Giving is not just about things. Giving is also about giving your time. Giving is also giving a thought to somebody. When you see a friend of yours sitting alone in the cafeteria having a meal, just sitting with that person is also giving of yourself. When someone hadn't come to school, just making a phone call and finding out how that person is doing is again giving of your care and concern. Khalil Gibran has beautifully said that we give but little when we give of our possessions. When we give of ourselves is when we truly give. And never ever underestimate the joy you can bring into somebody's life with a small action. You know, I was really happy to hear when Irfan spoke about the concept of respect, whether it be a bus conductor, whether it be a domestic help at home, and many of us are fortunate to have that, whether it be people you work with, and whether it be the principal of your school or the Prime Minister of the country. At a fundamental level, as human beings, we all deserve the same level of respect. The respect you have for the Prime Minister, the principal, or your parents should be no different than the respect you have for the person who drives your car or the person who cooks a meal at home. The respect should not be different, because as human beings we're all the same. And as you work hard, keep the higher ideal in mind. There's a beautiful story I will share with you about Akbar. So, Tansing was one of the 9 jewels in Akbar's court. And he was a fantastic singer. So one day Akbar told him, he said, Tansing, I want to hear your guru sing. So they went to the guru's house. On the first night, nothing happened. Second night, nothing happened. On the third night, the guru started singing. And he sang so beautifully that Akbar was completely mesmerized. On the way back, he asked Tansing, he said, Tansing, you know the same ragas, you are the best singer in my court. How is it that your guru sings better than you? He said, Jahapana, the answer is very simple. I sing for you, he sings for the Lord. The higher the purpose, the greater will be your impact. If you work and play for getting a medal for yourself, of course there will be impact. There will be limited impact. But if you play so that your house wins, and that's your goal, there will be a slightly higher impact. But if you play so that Hillspring School develops one of the best sporting and music and other talents, you'll have a much higher impact. The higher the purpose, the greater will be the impact. And this is the one thing which, if you are able to start practicing in your lives at this stage, that is not about me. It's about the higher purpose. And the highest purpose in life, which has been my experience, is that of service. Yes, you will run a business and you will make lots of money. You will be in a profession, you will make money. But at the end of the day, it's not about the money, it's not about the name, it's not about the fame, it's not about the glory, it's about the service. Service to your customers, service to society, service to whoever you come in touch with. You know, money is like petrol in a car for a business. Without the petrol, the car will not run. Similarly, without money, a business cannot survive. But you never drive the car for the petrol. You drive the car to reach somewhere in life. Similarly, you don't run your business just to make money. You run your business for a purpose beyond money. You don't run a school just because you're going to make a small surplus at the end of the year. Of course you need the fees to run the school. Without the fees, the school will not run. But the purpose is to inspire the imagination of these young minds so that they can go out and build a better India and a better world. Now when you start running a school with that purpose, when you start running your business with that purpose, the impact is going to be unimaginable. So the higher the purpose, the greater is going to be the impact, and the highest form of purpose in life is really a life of service. And develop the depth of compassion as you scale the heights of success. You know, we have enough intellectual capital in the world. I mean, look around you. You will have students sitting near you who in their IB are going to score their 45s and the 44s and the 43s. There is enough intelligence in this room. I was talking to the students of Campion and I said, and just before that they had made a presentation on the ICSE marks, and I said, you know, the average was some 91 or 92. I said, there is no dearth of intellectual capital. What we really need is capital of compassion. And compassion is being sensitive, willing, and aware of the fact that you need to include those people in your lives. In fact, the lives of those people who are not as fortunate as you. And this ideal of compassion and this idea of being extremely compassionate as you are extremely successful has been one of the most enriching ideas which I have experienced in my personal life. So build the depth of compassion as you scale the heights of success. And yes, of course, each one of you will have this thought in your mind that I want to be successful. But take a step back and ask yourself a fundamental question. What is true success? So let me ask you a question. A student in, let's say, maths scores 98 or 100. How many of you think the student is successful? One. Student scores 98 or 100. Alright, a student scores 100 or 100 in maths. How many of you think the student is successful? Right, so fair number of hands. Okay, sorry, I forgot to give you one piece of information. The student copied in the exam to get the 100. Now how many of you think that the student is successful? At least one of you thinks so. The world, and this is something you youngsters, you kids have to be very aware, conscious and careful about. The world is going to reward you for what you achieve. Because at the end of the day, what shows up on that mark sheet is 100 on 100. And the world is going to look at that mark sheet and say, wow, look at that score. The world is going to reward you, acknowledge you, respect you for what you achieve to start with. And that then starts putting the pressure on you to cut corners and do whatever it takes to make that happen. Because suddenly you're like, you know what, the world is only going to look at my mark sheet, so I have to do whatever it takes to get that 100. Because otherwise I will not be respected. And that pressure is the starting point for you to compromise with your ideals. But the true success is not in what you achieve, but in how you do it. And this is what requires the conviction, the clarity, and the courage to say that I am going to stick by my ideals no matter what. And Irfan said that. He said the success might come in 5 years, it could take 10 years. But if you are passionate and you're working hard and you're at it, but at it with certain principles and ideals which become non-negotiable in your life. So when you anchor yourself to those ideals, it becomes extremely easy to deal with the world. And you need to start getting comfortable that as long as I'm on the straight and narrow path, even if it takes a little longer, it doesn't matter. And therefore, benchmark yourself against only one person in life, and that's yourself. Be aware of what's happening around you for sure, but don't get carried away with competition. Because the moment your paradigm is that competition is doing this and I've got to get there no matter what, the moment you use these words to yourself, no matter what, you're going to start crossing the line. But if you're aware of that competition is there, that's great. And we're going to get there and we're going to be better, but not with a no matter what. We will do it the right way. Is it going to be more difficult? Absolutely. Is it going to be more challenging? Absolutely. Will it take a little longer? Maybe. In the long run, it is going to be the most sustainable thing you will ever do, and that is when true value gets created in your life. You know, there is a wheel which moves, and every part of the wheel moves except one part. Does anyone know that when a wheel is moving, every part of the wheel is moving except for one part? Which part is that? The center of the wheel. So the center of the wheel doesn't move, but everything else moves around it. The principles and ideals in your life are the center of your wheel. That everything else in life around you is changing and moving, but it is moving around that one thing that is changeless. That is the ideals that you live with. And when you are clear in your mind what is changeless and what is not, and you don't compromise on that which is changeless, it becomes very easy to handle the change around you. But with every passing turn of the wheel, if you start shifting your center, the wheel at some point is going to break. And when you look at success, for sure, work hard, make lots of money, have a great life for yourself, all of that. No one is saying don't do that. But when you step back and you count your success, count it in the number of friends you have. Count your success in the depth of your relationships. And count your success with the number of hearts and lives you have touched along the way. Don't look at your bank balance and feel good about your success. That's important, but it has its own place. Look at your relationship balance. Look at your friends' balance. Look at your life balance. And then hold a mirror to yourself and ask yourself the question, have I been successful or not? And success does not necessarily mean that you have to be the biggest. You will and may turn out to be the biggest. You don't know that. But that is not the only measure of success. That is a goal which you keep for yourself because the mind can't work in a vacuum, so you inspire yourself to say, you know what, I want to get that 45 in my IB. Of course you must strive for that 45. But it doesn't mean that if you are able to take a shortcut or you're able to cheat, you do it and say, but I got my 45. That's not good enough. That's not true success. So when you sit back, you've got to think of, my success is the friends I have, the relationships I have, and the number of lives I've touched throughout the several years that I have lived. And at this point, you are all cocooned. You know, you're in school, it's a fabulous space, but it's a very safe space. And in a few years, for some of you it's going to be next year, for some of you it'll be 2 years and 5 years, you're going to be out there in the world. And suddenly this cocoon is not going to be available to you anymore. So there's this professor who takes the class to a biology laboratory. And just before the butterfly becomes a butterfly, it's called chrysalis. Keeps it on the table. And he tells the class, just watch what happens. And he goes out. He comes back after 15 minutes and he sees a dead butterfly on the table. So he asks the class, he said, what happened? So one of the students raises his hand, he said, you know, sir, as you left, while we saw that this butterfly was coming out of its cocoon and struggling to get out, I felt really sorry for it, so I helped it out. It flew around for a while and then it just kind of collapsed and it died. So the bio teacher goes on to explain, he says, nature has designed the cocoon in a manner that the butterfly has to struggle to get out. And in that struggle, it develops the strength in its wings, which is what helps it to fly and survive. By making it easy, you have deprived it of its strength, which is why it could not survive. Struggle builds character. Remember one thing, this universe is not a hostile place. The challenges and difficulties that you face have come in your life for your growth, which is why different people face different challenges. And these challenges come as an opportunity for you to strengthen your wings so that you are able to fly and soar out there in life. So no shortcuts for sure. And that's one of the ideas and ideals that I have tried to implement in my business and personal life, and that's really worked. And in spite of best efforts, there will be mistakes, you will fall. And this is something I had heard many, many years ago, which has stayed with me and helped me through very challenging and interesting situations. That you will fall, you don't have a choice. Things will go wrong. But you do have a choice as to how you fall. And there are 3 ways in which you can fall. You can either fall like a pot of mud, where you fall and completely break, where the situation overpowers you and shatters you. Or you can fall like an iron ball, where you don't break, but you break everything around you, which is when you fall with a lot of anger and negativity. Or the third way of falling is like a rubber ball, that the harder you fall, the higher you spring back. Now imagine a rubber ball on sand. It will not spring back because it's a soft surface. Difficult situations and challenges come in our lives to help us to move to a higher level of existence. So when you are faced with a challenge, whether it be in class, whether it be in school, whether it be at home, and when you pass on a hill spring, whether it be out there, just keep this one idea and thought in your mind, that if this challenge has come in my life, it has come to teach me a lesson, and it is now an opportunity for me to move to a higher level. And as you move to a higher level in life and as you go out, 2 things you must carry with you at all points of time: love and gratitude. Most of you, I would think, come from very privileged backgrounds and have a lot in your life, and yet time and again you found yourself complaining about, I don't think my phone is as good as it should be, and maybe I want a better pair of shoes, and that's your big complaint at times. But if you just take a step back and look around you, the fact that there are more than 100 million children who sleep without a meal every day, there is so much to be grateful for. The attitude of gratitude is going to help you. And Irfan spoke about being humble, humility, and that sense of gratitude is such a powerful force, even when you're out there in cutthroat competition and in an extremely competitive environment. And after your parents, the highest debt of gratitude you owe is to your teachers. Because they have come in your life at a time when you need them the most. And you have to promise yourself one thing, that when you pass out of school, you will always be there for your teachers when they need you, because they were there for you, leaving their kids behind, spending more time with you than their own children many times. So never, never, never forget the debt of gratitude you owe to your teachers. And love. Love is the most powerful force in the world, and you have to learn to bring love to your family life, to your workplace, within your friends, and amongst society. Lead with love. As a person, when you get out of school, or even in school, whatever you are doing, make sure you are doing it with so much of love, but not love for yourself that you're going to look good. Of course you will look good if you do a good job, but love for the school. Love for your friends, and love for the fact that you're getting an opportunity to create something which is so beautiful and fantastic. And living with love is an ideal that has been extremely powerful, and one of the reasons we are successful as a business today, and I'm not going to go into the details of the business, is because there is a paradigm of leading with love, whether it be for the employees, whether it be for the customers, the suppliers, or society at large. It's a very, very strong force. And when you fortify yourself with this concept of giving, when you arm yourself with the gratitude and love, and you step out in the world, give as much as you can to as many as you can for as long as you can. The most powerful element in nature is the sun. And the sun is constantly giving as much as it can to as many as it can for as long as it can. Let me end with my favorite quote by Confucius, who says that if there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in character. If there is beauty in character, there is harmony at home. If there is harmony at home, there is order in the nation, and if there be order in the nation, there is peace in the world. Thank you very much, and God bless you.